Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk all about how to glow from the inside out. And today I want to take you along with me as I get ready to go to the YouTube Creator Collective meetup here in my hometown of Milwaukee. I'm really excited to meet the creator community here, and I really love this event. I went last year in Chicago and I had a really great time. And so today I want to take you along as I get ready because you know it's going to be a little bit of a glamorous moment for me. So we're going to be doing some skincare. I'm going to show you how I'm styling my hair, doing my makeup. I'm going to share with you my really cute outfit I'm very excited to be wearing tonight, and take you along and give you a little sneak peek of the event. So if you're so ready, give the video a big thumbs up and let's get started. I started washing my face with the Roche-Posay Gentle Foaming Cleansing Oil. This is just a foaming cleanser. It actually doesn't have any oil in it. Very confusing name. Then I go in for 2 layers of the Numbuzin No. 1 toner to rehydrate my face. So this is the Numbuzin No. 9 NAD Plus mask, which I have shown you before in the past. I'm actually going to be using this as my essence and serum step today, just because the mask format really helps to get all the NAD Plus. There's lots of peptides in here. There's some really great antioxidants, and it's got this really beautiful creamy moisturizing texture that really plumps up my skin, makes it super smooth, a great prep for makeup application. You see that there's just like a little bit of like a chewiness, a bounciness to the essence here. This isn't like that pure, like a hydrating gel type of texture. And if you're familiar with the essence, you know that it has this hydrating but also creamy type of feel. And so that's exactly what this mask is. So this is the bottom portion of the mask, and it actually doesn't go over your mouth. There is a little slit here. You're actually supposed to align that with your chin. There's actually these ear loops, ear holes. There are actually 2 holes, and this is just gonna be part of the definition for the mask. And then you see it actually extends down the chin area as well. And then that's also going to help with the sculpting. So that is the 2-piece Numbuzin mask. But when you buy the box of 4, it actually comes with a lifting band. And this is meant to be reused for all the masks in the box. So kind of align the center with the bottom of your chin and then stretch and then just wrap around. And it looks wild, you know? This just helps the sculpting, and I really notice a difference in the chin area, but also like around the bone structure and around the cheekbones. It just really helps to press that essence in so you get really soft and dewy skin, but also a sculpted and lifted skin. Okay, it's been about 25 minutes, so I'm going to take this mask off. And like I said, this is going to double as my essence, but also my serum as well. Feels really good to take this off. Today I'm using the Biossance Squalane Marine Algae Eye Cream. This isn't really a favorite eye cream of mine. It's nice, it's moisturizing, and that's all I really need today. I just need something light, quickly absorbed, smoothing and moisturizing, and that's what this does. So this is a like stainless steel metal eye cream spatula, but it also has this little ball point at the end, and I really like to just dip this into the eye cream and dot it under my eye area and then just sort of like massage it in. I'm really sorry, I don't know where this is from. I didn't buy it. It was probably like a gift in a PR package or something. I just don't know who sent it. That's the reality. Sometimes you're just like, I don't really know where this came from, but I'm sure you can find these online. I've seen these before. I will take a look and see, you know, when I do the links in the pinned comment or whatever, I'll link what I can. Stratia Lipid Gold. I do 1 pump on the back of my hand, and then this is the Cocokind Chia Seed Oil, and I've been doing 2-3 drops of that, and then I just mix everything onto the back of my hand together like that. Yay! It's like applying mustard to your face. And then I just go in for that mixed layer on my skin. The oil is gonna add to that chewy dewiness that the Numbuzin mask had, right? It's going to kind of continue to build on that dew. And this is the Illiyoon Ceramide 8.0 Concentrate Cream. You know, it's one of my favorite moisturizers. And again, I'm favoring something a little bit more nourishing and medium weight today because it's cold, it's rainy, it's wet, and so I want to make sure that my skin feels really nice and nourished and protected. So I got this in my most recent Yes Style package, which came like the day that those wild AF tariffs were announced. And I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to get a Yes Style order again. And honestly, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it because every time I think I've understood what's going on, it changes. It's constantly rapidly changing. And so whenever I speak on it, all of a sudden what I've said is now not even up-to-date advice, right? I think what I've learned is just to like hang tight. I think the biggest thing that nobody really seems to be fully taking on right now is the fact that no matter where you're ordering your skincare products from, the prices are going to go up because of the tariffs globally. It is just going to raise prices globally. These skincare ingredients aren't all sourced from the same country. These formulations aren't all made in the same country. It is a global supply chain to get a serum into your hands. It will be affected somewhere on that supply chain. The price is going to go up because of the tariffs, and it is going to be passed on to us because the tariffs are so high that brands can't sustain and absorb the cost. Stores, you know, K-beauty stores, even US, are really starting to feel concerned about the fact they're going to need to raise their prices because they're buying stock now with tariffs that they're having to pay. The stock is costing a lot more than it used to, and they can't absorb those prices, especially smaller businesses. They are going to get hit the hardest. So no matter if you're buying it from overseas or if you're buying it domestically, there is still an international component to it that means that the price is going to go up. So when people are asking me, where am I going to buy my K-beauty? What am I going to do? What I say is just hang tight. The situation is still developing, but plan for the prices to go up. Okay, I'm going to curl and style my hair right now, and then we're going to do some makeup. So I did wash my hair last night and dried it, but I did make sure to use my Unove Deep Damage Treatment Mask that I absolutely love, and that keeps my hair like really soft and manageable and healthy, you know, and moisturized. So I'm taking about 1-ish inch sections, and you've seen me do this before. I always run my curling iron over that section first just to kind of smooth down the hair, and then I start halfway, and then I curl up the barrel, hold it, and then slide down, and then another little twist there, and then we get that. So this section is done, and I'm going to lock in the curl with some hairspray. And for events like this, I usually put in a little more hairspray than I would for my normal like day, but it's worth it to really lock in that curl. Okay, moving on to makeup, and then we'll do outfit and final touches. So this is the Glow Recipe Strawberry BHA Pore Smooth Blur Drops. I know the label is coming off, and I think the last time I showed this to you, the label was also like kind of rubbed off. It does say it has salicylic acid in it, BHA, but I honestly don't find this irritating. So before I put my foundation on, I'm actually going to fill in my eyebrows. I just started doing it in this order, eyebrows first and then foundation, because I find that my eyebrow products go on better and last longer than if I put my foundation on first and then did my eyebrows. So I'm just using an eyebrow spoolie here, and I'm going to brush my eyebrows kind of up first. They sure do like to do their own thing, so it's really important to kind of get them into position. So I'm using the Urban Decay Brow Beater Eyebrow Pencil, and what I'm doing is, I don't think the word is quite blocking, but I'm sort of just like structuring my eyebrows. So I'm just using really light strokes to kind of define the top portion of my brows. So I'm being very light-handed. You see how it already just gives like just that little bit more shape to my eyebrows. So I'm just gonna do the same thing on the other side. I'm using the Benefit Powmade Brow Pomade. The color is 4.5, and this is like a dark brown eyebrow gel. So I use this angled brush, and this is what I'm using to fill in my eyebrows. I'm just doing really soft strokes here and filling in the rest of my eyebrow after kind of giving it some shape and guidance with the pencil. All right, time for base makeup or foundation. This is the Nars Light Reflecting Foundation, and the color is Deauville. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put about a pump on the back of my hand. I'll probably use more, but I like to start with one and see where I end up because this is not cheap foundation. And then I have this stainless steel applicator. And one thing I do like to do, so like I said, like about one pump, I like to put just a little bit of my foundation on, just almost like a primer coat, if you will. I know we already put primer. I like to put just a little bit on and spread it like in a nice, really even and thin layer. I definitely do need some type of base makeup on my lids at least in order to do eyeshadow, or else the eyeshadow just does not lay properly. Makeup is really all about understanding how to layer things, right? So I shear it out just with this fake beauty blender. It's not beauty blender branded. And then I wet that under the faucet. I didn't say that. I realized I didn't say it. I'm kind of like getting a little nervous about the time. It's all good. It's all gonna work out. Do you ever tell yourself that when you kind of feel like you're getting a little nervous or you're getting like worried things aren't going to work out, and you're just like, it's gonna work out. It's all gonna be fine. So this is the Urban Decay Primer Potion, and this stuff lasts me forever. I know sometimes people are like, oh, there's better ones or there's cheaper ones, and I'm like, I know, but like I never empty my tube, so it's gonna be a while for me. But I do need a little bit of primer on my lids. Eyeshadow primer is a must for me. This is my favorite eyeshadow palette. This is pretty much the only one that I use for the last, I want to say at least a year now, or more than a year, I think, is the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. So I really like this one because the nude and neutral shades in this palette are not too warm. Some, nude palettes are very orangey and very red based. So first up is the color Fair, and I just use that as a base for my lids. So I've got a big fluffy blender brush here, and I'm just kind of smoothing that out. So I have kind of a bigger crease brush here, and I'm going to use a little bit, really light hand, using the color Stone, and I'm just kind of putting it out here, this kind of shape. And this is just kind of meant to create a little bit of depth and shadow. I'm going to go in with some darker color. So this is just kind of, again, laying down like a base and sort of layering color and depth for this eye look. And it's okay if like it's not a super sharp line and it's not perfect. We blend and we correct and we clean up at the end. So this is a smaller and much more tightly packed crease brush. And I'm going in for the color Tender now. So this is a little bit of a darker matte brown, and I'm using totally matte eyeshadow colors here today. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to create that triangle shape. I'm gonna use my eye shape to create a line here, you see it, and then I'm kind of finding my natural crease and just following that just on the outer, and I'm just creating that triangle. And again, we're just creating depth and shape right now. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to some eyeliner right now. This is the Judydoll Slim Liquid Eyeliner in black. Now, the last time I did a Get Ready With Me a few months ago, I started to use this. It was like the first time I'd used it, and I was like, I don't really love this. I will say I still have some of the same feelings about this that I did then. It's not always the smoothest brush, and the color payoff is good, but it's not super duper deep black. That being said though, look at this fine tip. This applicator is amazing for creating a really sharp but small eyeliner line. And so I've kind of learned to work with it. So my feelings about it have definitely softened. So I'm just going to trace the top of my lid. And because this brush doesn't really brush very well, I just work in like small strokes. So do you see how light and thin that line is? I'm still getting the liner, but you can barely see it. So if you're really into no makeup looks, which like I said, for my daily beat, that's usually where I go. And that's where I started to fall in love with this. I don't need it to have a ton of color payoff. And I like how thin the line is. So this is definitely one of its strengths. Another strength of it is its ability to get that really sharp line, which is why I'm choosing to use it today. So I can't talk and do it. So let's just let's watch it unfold. So I do have a fear of screwing it up. It looks good now. I do want to do a little bit more, but because I'm going to be doing lashes and things like that, kind of like with the eyebrows and the foundation, it's like, let's start light. Let's kind of get the shape going, and then we'll go back in and perfect. I know I just sometimes have a tendency, especially when I'm on camera, to go a little bit further than I normally would. It usually looks okay, but yeah, I just know myself, So these are the Ardell Demi Wispies, and I'm using the Duo Brush On Adhesive. I hate doing lashes on camera because I like to get really close to the mirror and I need two hands and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to attempt to do the first one for you just so you can kind of see how I do this, but no guarantees it's gonna work. So you let the glue get a little tacky. Here we go. Okay, I think that actually worked out. All right, so I'm gonna do the other one, and then I think we're gonna be kind of getting into finishing touches stage. All right, so while that dries, the glue dries on the lashes, I am going to do my under eye. I'm gonna use the Lancome Ultra Precise Waterproof Liner, and this is in the color Matte Syrup Brown. So I'm just going to line my lower lash line, kind of starting from the mid part of my pupil and then going out and kind of matching where this sharper line is going. And I like this liner. I've had it for a while, and it's kind of that like foamy marker tip, and it's just kind of gotten just worn down enough where it's like the perfect sort of smudgy liquid eyeliner now for me, instead of like super sharp and precise. Don't get me wrong, it started off super sharp and precise, but now it has this really nice, very smudgy kind of dark brown that works so nicely for the under lash definition. And I do tend to go a little heavier on that. Instead of doing all the darkness at the top of the eye, doing a little bit on the bottom really makes my eyes pop and get a lot bigger. So I'm doing the same thing here. And you can do the same thing with like a dark eyeshadow too. I just find that the liner smudges a little bit less. So it's a little bit more of an insurance policy for me. And then I'm going to use the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner. The color is Honey Dude, and I'm going to put that on the lower waterline. And this is the secret to making your eyes look bigger, is to do the darker underneath and then the lighter on the inside of the lid. It really makes your eyes nice and big. All right, the eyelash glue should be dry now, so I'm just going to use my eyelash curler to curl my natural lashes into the falsie lash line. Finishing touches, I'm going to use the Tower 28 Serum Concealer. The color is IE. And I'm just going to put this where I want a little bit more coverage. I have some little freckles here. Like I was saying, you know, don't put on super heavy foundation right away, because you're probably going to go back in with concealer and whatnot. So I'm just using that same damp fake beauty blender to tap that into my skin. And this is good for cleaning up any maybe some eyeshadow or whatever that might have, you know, it always kind of rains on your cheekbones a little bit. I have been trying not to put too much right under my eyes because it does tend to gather in the creases. So I actually try to blend as much under there as possible and not have any heavy product. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use, and I am running out of time, so sorry if I'm rushing just a little bit here. This is the YSL Touche Eclat. This is almost like a highlighter corrector pen. It's not really a concealer. So sorry, mine's a little messy. It's like a click pen. And then I use this right on that to really define that sharp line. I do this, and then I'll put some down the bridge of my nose, and I'll do it around my lips to make them pop. And then I usually do the last remaining bits right on top of my brows. And then I'm just using this brush to blend. And you gotta trust this. I know, like all that hard work, what am I doing? It is cleaning up and sharpening that. And as I said, it does have a little bit of like a highlighter-like effect. So with that lighter kind of bouncing the light right under that really sharp and dark line, it goes pew. You see the difference? It really gives such a nice finishing touch. And that's exactly how I feel about this product, is it is a finishing touch kind of product. So I have a little bit of Clarins lip oil on right now. That's why my lips are so pink. But I'm going to put on some color later. I do like to put this little kind of perfecting pen around my lips because it just perfects everything. It makes everything look really nice. This is the Rare Beauty bronzer in Bright Side. I'm going right under my cheekbones here. I'll put a little bit right there too. Got all that nice sculpting from the Numbuzin mask. So I really want to show that off a little bit more with bronzer. It also, as you see, I was getting a little washed out if I don't add something back into my face. So this blush is from r.e.m. Beauty. It's the color Pinking of You. Look at this color. OMG, I love it so much. It is a cool toned, like bubblegum pink color. And it has some amazing color payoff. I was really impressed with this. So just a little bit, and I'm going really high up on my cheekbones here. And it's not as neon on my skin as it looks in the pan, but look at that color payoff. Isn't that gorgeous? I was really impressed with this. Let me tell you, this is a celebrity brand. It's Ariana Grande's line. I was gonna say, I'm not a fan. That's not true. I'm not plugged into her at all. So just so you're aware of that. I usually am pretty skeptical of celebrity brands, and I've tried some other stuff from them and it's been fine, but the blushes, I've been impressed with the color payoff of the blush. And I like to just put a little bit on my nose for good luck. So this is the Hints True Dimension Radiance Balm. It's the #1 color, which is light. This is like a highlighter stick. So you see that it is kind of like a fleshy champagne colored highlighter. And it's very beautiful. It's subtle. You see the shimmer. It's not glittery. It's just very light bouncing, shimmery. It has like a dewiness to it. We worked so hard on the dew, right? But this is just gonna like take it over the top goodness. So I'm just running that on the cheekbone, and honestly, just a little tapping because it's so melty and it's so moist. So I just kind of tap out the line, you know, of the highlighter, and it's so much more dewy and plump and all of that a powder highlighter. I love a good powder highlighter. Now let me tell you, when I was testing this out the other week, I put it under my brow bone and I wasn't too loving that because my lashes touched the top of my brow bone and I was getting a little bit of smudging because of how moist this is. So just something to be aware of, especially if you're like me and you're a little, like I said, my lids are a little bit oily. It can get a bit smudgy for the eye area depending on your eyes, but for cheekbones, gorgeous. This is from the Sephora Play collection. This is Sink or Suede lip liner. And then this is the Fui 3D volumizing gloss in vanilla at 70%. All right, that is the look. Let's get dressed. We gotta go. So here's the fit for this evening, and it's really kind of my take on a modern Western trend for spring, which is really hot this year. It definitely has that Western kind of hippie sort of vibe to it, but it's really more of a modern take. And so it really started off with this
mini skirt from Madewell. And the skirt itself has almost like a suede-like texture to it. I really like this pink color. And it's a great pair with the vegan suede zip-up jacket that I recently got from Abercrombie. And this is really where that modern Western feel comes in. And then I love this ribbed lace-up tee that I also got from Madewell. It offers some really nice texture to the outfit. And then the lace-up detail is just something that's a little bit unexpected and different. I'm wearing my Steve Madden Riggs boots, which are really a very affordable Fry campus boot dupe. And then it pulled all together with the Coach Willow bucket bag. I've had this for over a year and it has really gone through the ringer, but I swear to you, it looks brand new. It's such good quality. Pulls everything together for this early spring fit. Welcome to the YouTube Creator Collective Meetup. We're at Agency Cocktail Lounge in downtown Milwaukee, and isn't this such a cool space? They made custom craft cocktails all night long, and I had a lot of fun meeting the local creator community. And there was some really yummy small bites at the event, and I got to connect with a lot of really cool creators as we customize our own tote bags here. It was a really fun activity. And one of my favorite things about coming together in community with other creators is that it always inspires me to do more and to be better. It always gives me a fresh perspective, new ideas, and it's just amazing to be able to connect with other people who are doing what you're doing. Thanks so much for getting ready with me for tonight's event. I love you so much. Keep shining your light. Bye.